right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. I will be your storyteller. My name is Will, and last we left off with our Anarchs. We saw Erickson Wood meet Mustang Breck for the first time, and they went over a package given to them that was a little strange, to say the least. Different pages that looked to have been written by different hands and in different styles, among them even some crayon. They also met Gustav, who is funding their expedition into the city. They were given a sum of money, a .45 caliber pistol, and a hefty manila envelope with 3 file folders that had dossiers on Geraldine Birmingham, Aisling McGinty, and Samuel Hunter. Samuel C. Hunter. We left off with the both of them getting to the Last Call bar, which is owned by Samantha Crushing, which is a Camarilla Bruja, where they began asking about the fish. And right before entering the bar, Mustang got to see 3 cats that seemed to show a bit of intelligence beyond their natural predilection. But that was not an avenue that was explored, and she quickly made her way into the bar following Erickson. And this is where we're picking up our group. Hello, everyone. It's good to see your faces again. So we're in the bar. We have seen some things outside, but as Mustang kind of makes her way into the bar, she sees Erickson leaning across the bar, talking to a tall blonde woman who just looks like she takes no shit from anyone. And there's a scrawny, kind of lanky, nerdy bookworm type of this wiry, thin, almost looks like straight out of high school, just a black kid behind the bar with a rag over one shoulder. And he looks to be putting things away behind the bar. But she is mid-conversation with you, and she tells you the whole situation. She's like, are you making moves to come into Salem? It's not what I would recommend currently.
Oh, I mean, we're just passing through, actually. We're in the middle of actually looking for someone.
Who is that? Because...
Well, actually, when we last started, you brought up a little piece of information. Which was, we keep asking, because we ended off on Sam saying that, we found... People keep asking about her.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
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 So, I kind of want to know who this her she speaks of.
People have been asking recently about, and you see that she has a bit of trepidation.
Look, you know me. I'm not one that's going to start a fight unintentionally.
Sure.
I'm just asking for information. I mean, obviously it's worth note that they keep looking for this person. Maybe I can find this person.
Well, you'd be definitely sought after by some of the people I know.
Who is
anybody having issues with their headsets? I hear an echo.
No, I hear everything okay.
Okay.
Everything good here?
Okay. Okay. I don't hear anymore, so it fixed itself. She tells you they've been looking for a woman named Gretel Meyer for some time. Different people, different reasons. I don't like it.
Would I know about this Gretel Meyer?
Make a excuse me. Make an intelligence and investigation or awareness, your choice. Or streetwise, actually. Go to streetwise. Intelligence and streetwise. See if you've picked up anything about her.
So that's 3 die. So 1 hunger die and then 2 regular.
Yep.
All right. I rolled a 6, and the hunger dice is a 3.
Okay, so 2 successes. You've heard Gretel being referred to by a couple people in the past. You know that she's a Tremere. And you know that she's somebody that people have gone to for like blood sorcery needs. But that's about it.
And you're saying that this Gretel has gone missing?
She's like, yeah, and as she's saying this, you see Mustang kind of walk into the bar.
I shoot a glance over at Mustang, and I nod my head over to her.
I walk over to the bar.
Yeah. The blonde woman kind of looks you up and down for a moment as you sit down. She's like, "Oh, you have a friend?"
Yeah, business associate.
Hmm. This is a face I haven't seen in the Elysiums.
Oh, it's new friend.
And
Mustang.
uh,
This is Sam. Sam, this is Mustang.
she slides her hand out to you.
She does one of these.
Okay.
But hi.
Yeah. She slides her hand back, confused for a moment. She's like, "You named after the car or the horse?"
Both.
Of course. And as she's introducing herself, you hear a loud slam of the door opening and a hurried, agitated steps kind of coming up, and you see this wild man, kind of what's it called? Plaid shirt, red and greens. A typical undershirt that's just kind of dark blue color, blue jeans, and work boots. Wild reddish brown hair, a beard to match, and he kind of rushes up to the bar and he kind of slams his hand down and he's like, "I need to talk to you now." And she motions to the two of you. She's like, I'm with guests currently. Can it wait?" And he slams his hand down again. And he's like, "I need to talk to you now."
Oh, how you doing, friend? My name's Erickson Wood, and who might you be?
He looks at you for a moment, and it looks like this is the first time that he's taken a breath all night, and he looks over at Mustang and then he looks back at you. He's like, "Joshua, Sam, can we talk, please? It's about..." And he kind of stops. And you hear from down the street as the door is slowly kind of closing from the outside, this cacophony of motorcycle engines. It's like helicopters coming down into the Viet Cong War. You can imagine there must be like at least 12, 13, maybe even like 16 choppers coming. But she looks at the three of you and she's like, that is the sound of business coming. So, unless it is imperatively important, Josh, I think you can wait. And he curls his shoulders, like he lets them roll. And he's like, look, I just need help with Connie. Alright? Can you look after her while I'm gone? And at this, you see Samantha kind of cock her head. Well, where are you going? You're a whip. And he immediately shoots the two of you a glance, and then she's like, "No, they're part of the family."
I take a seat right there on the high chair.
I also take a seat.
You know,
Can I order a drink?
Do you have the eat food merit?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah. So you can order it. You can pay her to give you a drink. You're just gonna get to
No.
sit at it and
Why
smell
would I
it.
do that? I'm not gonna do
smell
that.
it, touch it, taste it.
Slowly pour it onto the floor.
Yeah.
No.
Give it to a human that you want to drink from. Things like that.
No.
I have a drinking problem, and then just toss it over her shoulder.
Just can't make it in the damn hole.
Yeah. But he kind of looks at the two of you. He's just like, I haven't seen you in the Elysium. You new here?
Asking us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're actually just passing through West Salem. Talking to my friend here, Sam. And then you just come running in, sounding like you're out of breath, so obviously this seems important to you. Okay, go ahead and share. We might be able to help.
He's like, I appreciate it, but if you're not going to be sticking around, I recommend you kind of take in whatever sites you're looking for and then move on. Salem's not the place you want to be right now. West Salem in particular, that's my territory as the sheriff's whip for the western fronts. And as he says that, you hear the door open and you see just one biker, another biker, and then just this cavalcade of kind of motorcycle enthusiasts kind of come in. They wave their hands at Sam, who waves back. And then they start to take up some tables. Some of them kind of go over, and there's a little bit of conversation to the two older gentlemen who are playing pool about how their game has come to an end, and there's some forceful kind of pulling of the balls into their holes, and it's like, oh, looks like we get the next round, and they're kind of pushed out of their billiards game. There's one who kind of takes up residence at the alley for the darts. But all of them have the same similar patchwork or embroidery, or depending on how long they've been with the club, but it all says the Free Souls.
I glance over at Mustang. I go, now it's a party. So I look over back at our new friend, and please continue.
He looks at the mess of people that have kind of walked in, and he looks over at Sam. He's like, this isn't something for kind ears to hear, if you know what I'm saying. She looks at the bar back, the little scrawny kid, and she's like, well, Mick, it looks like you're going to be on bar duty today. I'd start with handing out beers to all of the nice gentlemen that came in, except for that one, please. And she points at one in particular. And Eric, you see the bartender, the tall blonde woman that you met earlier in the week before you decided to set a florist shop on fire.
Yeah, Sam.
Sam. She motions for you.
All right, smile at my friends, signal them I'm headed over. So, head on over.
Yeah. And if all of you could describe what your characters look like to each other, since this is the first time all of you have dealt with each other.
Oh, ladies first.
So she's Middle Eastern. She's got long, cascading, beautiful black hair. She wears black. She wears a black trench coat thing. What else about her? I think that's it. She's got a trench coat. She wears just black everything. Black shirt, black pants, black boots,
Gloves.
and leather gloves.
Be consistent, yep.
Yeah.
You only have to wash one load of clothes.
Yeah. Kenny?
Yeah. I believe how I have it. I'm about 6'2", 6'3", so pretty on the taller side. I have a dad bod. That's pretty much the best way I could describe it. Although I hide it pretty well in the tailored suit that I'm wearing, which is considerably different than everybody else in the bar. Obviously, there wouldn't be probably too many people wearing a tailored suit like myself. I have the goatee, which has it's peppered through, salt and pepper, and salt and pepper hair through the sides, kind of like the Reeve Richards look, Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
You can tell that I'm probably in the older group out of everybody else here, especially comparing to Mustang's age.
Yeah, I'm in my 20s.
Yeah, and I'm carrying what looks to be a large gold leaf book that could be mistaken at a glance as a Bible.
Okay. All right. Well, Andreas Barker is about 6 feet tall. Short hair. Looks like it was actually sort of in an unkempt state, or at least had been cut in weeks when I'd been embraced. Rampant stubble as well. I think James McAvoy, like in his mid-20s, give or take, just for an overall visual. The outfit is your standard biker paraphernalia: ripped jeans, knee-high boots, the black leather vest with the various rankings for the gang on it. Honestly, has a look of he just seems older than he is. Just has kind of the 1,000-yard stare, seen a little too much shit kind of look on his face.
Okay. So, Sam motions for you to come over, and you see this gentleman join the conversation. And then she kind of turns over to Joshua, who you've met, Eric. He was the
whip.
The whip.
I kept notes.
And she looks over. She's like, Before you start asking for favors, Josh, I think you need to talk to them about Gretel. And you see that he kind of adjusts his plaid shirt, and he's like, "What do you three know about Gretel?"
I take a moment, I look at Mustang, and then I look at our new friend Andreas, and obviously he's a totally different, another person that knows about this. So,
yeah, no look of surprise when they mentioned Greta.
Yeah.
Right. Seems like Gretel's a very popular woman here.
My earlier search for her wasn't very fruitful, but
Who is she?
At this point, Sam pats Mick on the chest, walks past him, motions for all of you to follow her, and she leads you into her back office around the corner. As soon as the door closes, all of the sounds, all of the raucous kind of noise dies out immediately. This room is soundproofed, and it looks like it's meant for very private dealings.
Or icing problems.
Yeah, a murder room. Yes,
Yeah,
I like
sure.
that.
Yeah, and so she goes over, she sits at her desk, and you notice that the name plaque on the desk doesn't have her name; it just says "boss." She,
I love the
Mustang
work
likes this.
she puts her feet on the table. There's a couch in the room. It is a spacious office. There's a couch. There's a couple of chairs. There's a small coffee table. There's a closet wardrobe that's currently closed. In one corner, there's no plants. There's a very tiny window, like a slit of a window, that kind of stretches along the top part of the room. It makes it look kind of like what you would expect to see in a very high, fancy kind of bathroom. So it feels a little bit out of place here, but that's the only thing that really kind of.
So wait, you just said that her office reminds you of a fancy bathroom?
It
Well,
used to be a bathroom.
Just the glass, the kind of sliver of a window that extends throughout the wall opposite the door, just kind of gives it that bathroom vibe.
Okay.
But the rest of the room is just, it actually does look like an office.
So if I were sitting on the couch, for instance, I could use that mirror or that glass to angle to see the front of that door that led us into this room, correct?
You could see it's difficult, but you could see a reflection of the room. Yeah, it's just a high angle. It's a high angle reflection. It looks like it's meant to, if it had been used to kind of peep, it looks like a two-way kind of situation to look out onto the street.
Interrogation room.
Yeah. You do notice that there are no mirrors in this room. Although you don't know if the boudoir, the kind of wardrobe, might have a mirror inside one of its doors. Outside, there's no mirrors. There's not even like magazines on the coffee table. There's just kind of like empty bottles for people that she might have been kind of talking to in here for some reason. But yeah, she sits here at her desk, puts her feet up on the desk, and she's like, if you wanna share with the class, Josh, now's the time. What is making Gretel Meyer so important in my fucking neighborhood? He takes one of the chairs and he pulls it out so that he can sit looking at everybody. And as he sits down, he says, there's a name that popped up recently. Don't ask me how I know this, but I just know this. That has put it's a little bit of a fire under my ass, if I could say that. And I think Gretel's involved, and if she is, she might have started something that she doesn't understand and couldn't possibly have understood for what's about to happen to us.
Started with who?
He looks at you, he's like, I don't think the name's going to mean anything to you, but I know it's going to mean a hell of a lot to her. And he points at Sam. But I have reason to believe that Grant Reynolds is in the city. And you see immediately, like, she sits up, she pulls her feet off, she sits forward, faces him, and she's like, are you fucking serious right now? And he nods. His picture is on a list, a relationship map that was given to me by my childish Coterie. She puts her head down into her hands on the desk, and she's like, I don't want to deal with this here. This is why I left San Francisco. And he just kind of like nods. He's like, I know.
Mustang turns to Sam.
Hmm?
Who's Grant Reynolds?
She looks up at you. She's like, he's a fuckface. That's who he is.
Aren't all men?
And you see Josh kind of tilt his head at you. He's like, I mean, not all men. And then she kind of looks at him. She's like, no, it's all men.
No, Erickson shakes his head. No, that's right.
And
He just not all men to me.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah. And
Got cockeyed from every other guy in the room. Like, what the fuck? Who do you hang with?
but yeah, Josh kind of again straightens his shirt as he sees that he's the only one in the not all men camp. And he's like, Grant Reynolds is a monster by all accounts. He's a thing that should not be, and he's only gotten stronger with age. Grant Reynolds used to be what we call a Templar. He was a Sabbat Templar. This is a Kindred killer. He's a known Diablerist.
It's a vampire that kills vampires.
Mm-hmm. Not only kills them, drains them.
When was the last time he was here in Salem, in West Salem?
He's never been here as long as I've been here. This is the first time I've seen any reference towards him, and the fact that this came to me in a relationship map that a government agent had in their possession troubles me.
I look over on Andreas to see if, this is all these. This is all new to me, and I imagine to Mustang as well. So I know that I can tell that Andres probably has been here longer. So I have no. I look over at him, and I say, "Is this something we need to be concerned about?"
Don't look at me, pal. I just got here. Do I know who Grant Reynolds is? Something I need to roll for, or would I know?
Yeah, let's see if you would roll. Let's have you roll an intelligence and streetwise. See if you've tussled with him. So, if intelligence is 2, streetwise is 2, so that's 4.
3 and a hunger, I think.
Yeah, 3 regular, 1 hunger.
I'm just kidding, at least. All right. 9, 1, and a 3 for the regular die, and an 8 on the hunger.
All right, so 2 successes. Grant Reynolds is somebody that you've tussled with in the past.
Direct, contact to contact, or just our...
No,
our aims have been at cross purposes before.
Yeah, he's been at odds because he has tried to... And you don't know if it was just a job or if it was just because he put himself in his crosshairs, but he has tried to eat your sire.
Okay, well, that's more than a little personal to me then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. What else do I know about this guy other than the Sabbat Templar, Diablerist, that sort of thing?
You know that he started in Chicago. And there's talk that he might have been part of Al Capone's group. That's where he got his start, and he somehow ended up on the wrong side of a kindred. You know, having had to deal with him, he's eaten his way down. So you would put him at somewhere like at least 9th, but easily he could be like 8th or 7th gen.
Yeah, because this would be even last I've heard. Last I'd heard about him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you also know that
So
he's a Bruja.
All right. So I turn to Erickson and be. This is somebody we've dealt with in the past. As bad as they get, it dates at least back to organized crime in Chicago, the Capone's gang. We've had to deal with him a few times in the past. My sire's actually had more than one run-in with him, and yeah, watch your necks around him. Every single chance he gets, he tries to move his generation down, and he's diablerized at least 4 or 5 times that we know of. Who knows which ones he gained generation off of?
Joshua nods.
All right. That's more than enough that I needed.
Yeah.
Keep away from that guy.
Yeah. Who knows how many minds are vying for control in the head of his. But the guy's a monster. There's no reasoning with him. Just be aware of that.
So you're saying that he's in West Salem because of Gretel?
Mm-hmm. And she's on the relationship map.
Is there anyone else on said map we need to know about?
He looks at the three of you. He's like, I don't know where you're from. I don't know what clans you adhere to, so I can't tell you if there's anybody that you need to worry about. But the prince is on the map, and that bodes ill if a government agent knows who the prince is. There's a couple of members of her primogen on the map.
Geraldine and someone for council got on a government watch map? Okay. You guys have been busy while I'm away.
And he smiles. He's like, oh, you know who the prince is?
I don't ride into any town I don't know how to ride out of, and that includes who runs the place.
Duly noted.
I'm looking over at Mustang, like, you know, the only way I can describe it is this is getting a lot bigger than I thought that it was going to be. But okay.
Joshua looks at the three of you and he's like, I need proof of whatever Gretel's involved with. So, if and he kind of looks at Sammy. He's like, if you brought him into this, so I can only assume that this is something that he's been involved in, as he points to Andreas. The two of you, I mean, all three of you have never seen Elysium, so I can only assume who you're involved with. But I'll tell you one thing. Things are looking bad in Salem. So if you have any permanent plans to continue being here, I would try to get on Geraldine and her primogen's good side as soon as possible.
Oh, thank you for that advice.
Yeah.
But let me ask, where was the last known whereabouts of Gretel?
That I know of, she was seen at the university library, but this is also what Andrew Givens told me, so I don't know how much stock I put in that, given that he could be carrying a grudge, especially if the rumors of what I've heard of Gretel has been doing are true.
What are the rumors about what she's been up to?
I heard she's been selling ritual knowledge to some of the Thin Bloods.
Okay, that's a change of pace.
Yeah, so she's been selling Tremere secrets.
Oh.
And if I take it, if Gibbons found out about this, this would not be, it's not make him a very happy camper, would it?
No, considering that Andrew is in charge of the Chantry House, the Chantry chapter here in Salem, he would
Formerly
be
the
miffed. Yeah.
So there, we have any reason to think that he's the one who disappeared her?
If I was a betting man, I would put money on it.
Actually, tracks with what I was finding out earlier.
I mean, I have no real power anymore. I'm not interested in being Green's whip, especially not if the shit that's coming down is as hard as I think it's gonna come down. I'm ready to go as far west as possible and just try to call in some favors with the lupines to just kind of let me stay in the forest for some time.
He's got contact with the lupines? Okay.
So
I
this
don't know,
this guy's connected.
Favor to call in.
Yeah.
Connected
But
nothing. This was like one of those Wookiee life death things.
yeah. But with Sam here as a witness, I can authorize you to be a coterie as an emergency, on the specific grounds of you bringing Gretel Meyer to me as quickly and as safely as possible.
Huh? I nod my head. So we just gotta find this Tremere and walk that way. Sounds easy enough.
No, you can bring her here. Sam can look after her, and immediately Sam's like, "The fuck I can. This ain't a halfway house." And Josh kind of stands up and he's like, "Look, bring her here. Sam will get in contact with me, and then I'll come and take her off your hands."
And if nothing else, we can always get her out of town very quickly.
Sure, if you have your own connections on that.
I'm pretty sure Reaper would do anything I ask him to see to anyone's safety, particularly Greta.
Yeah, and that he kind
I
of
like this guy.
He looks at
like
your jacket. He's like, "I can only assume that you mean the rabble outside."
Rabble. We're not Brujah.
Oh shit.
No, they're not. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't nickname your clan, man.
No, I mean they're bringing the party right now. I honestly think that this is a boon, if anything.
Of course it's a boon. We have numbers on our side. We have rides around in and out of town if we need them. And yeah, everyone who rolled into the bar with me is ready to get down at a moment's notice if we need to. Some of them are aware of me.
Okay.
Just be careful with the breaching the masquerade. I don't know how many government agents there are in the city. I know that there has been a waterworks van parked outside my haven for the last couple of days. So I don't know how far their stretch extends.
Contractors are paid by the hour. There's no way that van's still there for no reason.
Exactly. So
It's going to get replaced by Flowers by Irene.
I look forward to hearing any of your about your success, hopefully. Be aware that Sheriff Green does have his own coterie, kind of hunting things down for him. My childer is a part of them, so I would like it if nothing happened to her. But if push comes to shove and you have to make waves, I have no qualms with losing either of the other two friends she's made, and I use the term lightly.
Less lethal on your child. We got a name on that?
Yeah, let's go. What? I eagerly want to know names of these people.
Her name is Connie. Connie Eastworm. The other two I don't give a fuck about.
Call them left and right.
Yeah.
So Connie and the two blood bags. I get you.
Yeah. I know one of them is a fucking idiot of a La Sombra. But the other one's I think he could be an animal if he let loose. But there's a cunning there, which is why I imagine the Nosferatu claimed him.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I will send my money on Gangrel for a second.
No, my child is a gangrel.
All right. Gangrel, Nosferatu, and a shitbag. I like.
Shipbag La Sombra. There's a specification there.
Yeah.
It's a special waft.
Yes. There's a vintage.
Yeah, of shit.
17th century Spain.
But he nods at her. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go pack some things up, make sure that there's nothing that they can find in my place. If you don't hear from me in the next couple of weeks, just assume that something bad's happened.
Pour out a little blood in your honor.
He nods and he walks out, and as the door opens, there's this banging of just what's it called, Bad Company playing on the jukebox, and then the door closes and everything goes quiet again, and Sam just kind of leans back in her chair. Oh, this is a fucking plate of macaroni and cheese if I've ever seen it.
You know, when out in the South, everybody that speaks Spanish uses the term "arroz con mango," and it just means that this is a very sticky situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Mango with rice.
Have you ever had mango or rice? It's really hard to separate the moment you put it together. Don't worry about it. I didn't know half the things. They were talking about frog's ass. Never mind. Sana kulita la rana.
Oh. Yeah, the South is weird.
Does he have a string to pull to wind him up? Does this just happen?
I like this guy.
Well, that makes fun of us.
But she looks at the group. Okay, well, I guess I've been saddled as a babysitter, so I'm not gonna give you inspirational quotes.
Look, not Greta. Sam. If we get a hold of Greta, we won't leave her here along with you. You know, Jonathan is not going to allow that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We'll get her the hell out of town as quickly as possible, or wherever we end up having to move her.
I've cultivated an air of having an Elysium-like place. There are no actual rules that say this is an Elysium, so I'd rather not risk a blood feud on my territory if I can avoid it.
Behave.
Thank you.
Can I talk to Erickson?
I am here.
But can I talk to him privately?
Yeah, do you wanna ask him, or do you wanna ask Sam to kind of take Andreas outside?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, hey, do you mind? I would like to have a conversation with my partner really quick.
Oh.
conversation. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she stands up and she motions to the door for Andreas, and she's like, "Oh, yeah. Why don't we just fuck off out of my own office, and you two can have a heart to heart."
I appreciate it so much, Sam. Thank you.
You Scott started the couch, right, Sam?
Yeah. Yeah, and she opens the door. She and her and Andreas kind of walk out.
What's going on, Mustang?
You really want to do this?
I have a feeling that this lead will get us closer to our end goal than finding the fish.
You sure?
You have my word. If we see that this gets us nowhere regarding us, finding and getting rid of the situation for our group, then I'll back off and we'll just start looking for the fish or start doodling on those papers.
I don't like that guy.
You don't like most people.
I really don't like that guy.
And you're speaking about Andreas, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that we should trust him. I'm just saying that with him and the connections he has, it gives us an advantage over what we're trying to look for. But I'm with you. The moment that we see this goes south,
We're leaving.
we head out.
Fine.
And I tap on my book, just in case. Insurance.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So I open the door.
All right.
And I let Mustang go out before me.
Okay. Yeah, the loud music just bleeds itself into the room. You can see that there's a small kind of group gathered around one of the tables. And if you guys go to investigate, I assume Andreas has, because he's never seen grown men kind of ooh and ah and coo like this before. But they have gathered around a single table where there are 3 cats collected. One is a kitten, one is a kind of floof ball, and the other one just looks like this well-fed kind of Garfield thick cat.
We see them?
I mean, yeah, when you walk out, you can see that these grown men are kind of like sitting around the table. Sometimes over the music, you'll see one of them say, "Oh, look at it, look at it, look at it!" But and if you go over, you'll see that one of them is like just flicking his finger in front of one of the cats, and it's kind of like pawing at it. The little kitten is getting the most attention.
Saw these cats outside.
What do they put in the drinks around here?
These cats.
Uh,
Aren't they majestic?
I kind of want to look into this further. This is obviously off the wall. This is a group of bikers that are around cats.
Sam comes over. He's like, get these the fuck out of my bar, please. This is not a pet shop. And there's a collective. Aww, and you see a couple of them kind of grab the cats between them and start taking them outside.
These weren't my boys, were they?
No, these are not part of your herd.
Someone was about to get jumped. Somebody had to get jumped out of the gang. You can't be like that. You can't do that in public, man. You got an image to maintain. You got to rip your patch off.
Yeah. You just been demoted.
Yeah, free souls my ass. You're free to go.
But yeah, you see them. They take them outside, and you don't see them come back.
Does that happen regularly?
She's like, no.
This is the second time tonight that I see those cats, though.
Second time? When was the first time?
When we were getting out of the car, when you walked in, I saw the cats, and it was almost like they were asking me to go with them. Strange.
Is that
They were a Russian spy. But
And that's all you saw was just cats.
They were, well, there was like a. Did I see the shimmer?
Yeah, if I
I
described
saw
it,
the shimmer.
yeah. Then if I described it, yeah.
Cool. So there were those 3 cats, and they were just like. There was just like this shimmering aura around them. It was very weird.
Did you see it when we came out into the bar just now?
Did I see it?
Inside the bar, no.
Okay.
Uh,
No.
Eric, with your obfuscate,
I have no cat experience.
with your obfuscate being so high, you recognize that as one of the abilities, one of the telltale signs of obfuscation.
What, the glow around
The shimmer, like.
Okay, do I know this for my particular reason?
It is kind of like the predator effect whenever you're moving sometimes. If people are keenly attentive or if you're being sloppy, sometimes people will tell you that you do leave like a kind of outline.
And what the cats had just seems to represent the same kind of outline.
She's not saying that the cats had it. She's just saying that it was around the cats,
It's around the cats.
in the vicinity
Okay.
of cats.
Oh, and it did fly away, didn't it?
It moved away.
It moved away, and the shimmer at one point just moved away.
You saw all this outside?
Yeah.
Which way did it go?
Did it go away from me?
Went south, yeah, towards the city.
It kind of went south towards the city.
You see one of the bikers at this point kind of go outside, and he starts yelling, "Hey! Hey!" He comes back and he's like, "Hey, Jake and Tommy are gone.
What was that?
Jake and Tommy are gone." And he kind of like points outside, like I realize that they've been out there for like 10 minutes just dealing with these cats. Like they should have been back.
What, dealing with these cats? What, are you having them kicked out, or what?
The cats were escorted out of the premises as we were talking.
Okay. Okay, and now they're gone. My guys?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're not part of your herd, but they are part of the club.
Yeah. Are their bikes gone?
No, the bike's still there.
Oh shit. Oh, okay.
This is something we need to be concerned about, Andreas, it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, we just got told that there's all sorts of bad shit going on in town, and 2 of my people just disappeared.
And the guy that went outside to check for them, like he turns to go back outside. He's like, "I don't know where they went. Like I don't see the cats either."
I'll step outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I follow.
Okay. The 3 of you are there. You see what looks to be just the kind of baker's dozen bikes parked out front. There's a kind of indentation in one of the seats, like somebody had been recently sitting there. But if everybody could give me a wits and awareness roll.
Ooh.
Wits.
Yeah.
Where's that?
That is under mental. Upper right.
And so Sorry, I forgot how to do this.
Okay, so your wits is 4.
Yeah.
Your awareness is 2, so you're gonna roll 5 regular dice and 1 hunger dice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Difficulty 6 or higher. Kenny, you got 6 dice. Bro, all of you have 6 dice in this.
Yeah.
Fucking animals.
I know. We're very aware of things.
I'm just a witty guy. All right.
3 tens, a 2, a 3, and a 1.
Are any of the, is the 10 or is any of the 10s or the 1 on your hunger dice?
No.
Okay.
Wait, what does that mean if it's a 10 on the hunger dice?
If you have 2 10s, you have a critical success. If if any number of 10s is in your hunger dice, then you have what's called a messy critical.
Yeah, full Eli Roth.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a messy critical then.
You have 2 10s, and one of them is in your
No.
hunger dice?
No, I have... Oh, no, it has to be 2 10s. Okay,
Yeah.
no, I have... Hunger dice is a 10, 2 8s, a 1, a 4, and a 6.
Okay, so 4 successes for you. Mustang has 6 successes, I think, from what I remember.
I have a 3 tens, a 2, a 3, and a 1.
Okay, no, so you have 5 successes. And what did Andreas get?
I got 4 successes, 9 on the hunger die.
Okay.
Then I got 8, 8, 6, 4, and 5.
Okay. So all of you notice very different things about the active kind of crime scene that's outside here. You see that there is a pack of cigarettes that's off by one of the bike wheels, and a Zippo lighter that is open, almost like they were about to light up a cigarette. One of you notices a broken cigarette by a different bike wheel. And it looks like Mustang, you notice, since you got the highest score, you notice that one of the last bikes actually has its handlebars twisted opposite the rest of the bikes, like they were being used to try and pull or restrain an unwanted movement.
Mm-hmm. Do we tell the group what we saw?
Yeah, sure.
I tell the group what I saw.
All right. I'm assuming that everybody's going to share the information, so that's why I was like, I didn't note who noted what. You were just high enough that you got that one piece of information for yourself.
And there was no one else out here who would have seen anything?
No, there is a kind of excuse me. There's a dock for riverboats, because they do tours the Willamette River down the street, but the guard kiosk that's there looks like it wouldn't have a good angle.
Okay.
Okay, so just so that I get the idea, you're saying that at the end of the rows of the dozen bikes, one shows that the actual handlebar was twisted as though it was out of position, like it was trying to be moved out.
Yeah, imagine you're sitting on a bike and you get pulled off of it and you're grabbing onto the handlebar.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you're getting pulled away from it.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to hold on while they were getting pulled.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I understood it anyway.
Yeah.
It takes me a while. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So there's a uniformity to all the bikes and how they're kind of parked at an angle, and the handlebars are kind of parked pulled so that the wheel aims at the actual sidewalk, so they don't just go careening off into the streets. This one looks like it's aimed at the streets, like the handlebars have been pulled in a much more different direction.
Is there anything else about that bike that I see?
If you draw attention to it, between all of your successes and your dice pool being 6 each, you'll notice that It also looks like it's been pulled further away than the other bikes. Like there's a bit of distance from the sidewalk that doesn't match the rest of the bikes, and it almost looks like the kickstand is like at a 30-degree angle, like it's been pulled forward.
Right, broken through. So in other words, whoever did this had strength.
Yeah.
And also, whoever did it pulled them backwards off the bike and towards. That's if it's tires facing towards the street, then they got pulled towards an alley, or pulled back, or just pulled backwards in a. Is there an alley between? Is it near an alley?
There is an alley between the last call and the restaurant that sits next to it. It's thin. It looks maybe like 4.5 feet wide. Just barely big enough for a couple of garbage cans to sit there. There's
And it doesn't look like it doesn't look like anything's gone through there, because you're saying it's for a couple of garbage cans, but it looks like there's no sign of showing anything going through there.
one of the garbage cans looks like it's been knocked over, or that it's been lying on its side for some time. The other one looks like it's still straight up. The fire escape that leads to the upper levels of the last call looks like it has a jostled lock. Like it looks like somebody tried to climb up the ladder, but it's locked in place, and the excess movement has kind of left the lock dangling softly.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like we're going topside. I'm going topside.
They didn't go up.
Yeah,
Is that
but
what you're saying, Will?
Yeah, they did not go up, but they did. It looks like somebody must have used the ladder as kind of leverage or an anchor point.
Gotcha.
All right, yeah. Let me just climb up there and check that out then.
Okay.
What's on the other side of the alley?
It is the next street over, and there's a couple of businesses and mostly apartment buildings at this point. Yeah, with dexterity of 2 and athletics of 5, that's an easy climb for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to roll. You climb up the ladder onto the roof of the last call, and you don't really see anything. There's nobody up there. It looks like there's a couple of empty bottles, but it looks like they've also been there for a while.
Okay. No drag marks near any sewer grates. No tire tracks. That look
Yeah,
like
tire tracks on the street, anything on the sidewalk.
From up there, I'll let you make another wits and awareness roll.
Okay.
If you're gonna survey the situation.
So I will. Hunger die was a fail. That was a 3.
All right.
6, 7, and 10. 3 successes.
3 successes. You see in one direction, towards the docks, towards the kind of where the riverboats are dry docked. There's a shape, an outline that shimmers. It's too far away for you to make out, but you also notice that the cats are kind of following it.
Okay, this is what, the roof of the second floor?
Yeah, it would be like midway between the second and third floor. Like it's not large enough to be a third story building, but it's kind of larger than a second story building.
Okay, then I'm just going to go crazy and go for the jump.
Ooh.
Get back down. Well, I'm gonna get back down there quickly. I know fall damage exists.
Superhero landing. Superhero landing.
Yeah. Make a strength and athletics.
Bend your knees.
Roll forward if all else fails.
Yeah, no, it's always tuck and roll and bend at the knees. Okay,
Yeah.
Hunger die got an 8. I have a 6, another 8, and then a 6 and a 3.
Okay, so 4 successes. Okay, so Mustang and Erickson suddenly see the body of Andreas Barker kind of go over the edge of this roof and then come crashing down in front of you guys in the alley.
Okay, I'm gonna make a quick beeline for my bike. I gotta grab the shotgun I kept there.
Okay. You do take 1 point of superficial damage.
Okay.
As
I slow clapped. I wanted the golf clap.
Okay.
That's exactly what I.
Yeah. There's a heavy crunch, and you can see that as he's hobbling out of the landing, he starts to pick up his normal gait. You can heal superficial damage at any point by rousing the blood if you'd like to. Or you could stick your damage for the time
Let's
being.
try rousing the blood. I haven't done that yet.
Okay, so it's 1 die, 6 or higher. You do it without raising your hunger. Lower than 6, and your hunger goes up by 1.
Okay.
You awaken. You awaken the beast. Okay, so you heal without getting hungrier.
Cool.
I look over after clapping. So, I take it you found something.
Emotions.
Yeah, I'm already grabbing my gun. I'm running towards the other alley. I'm like, just
Where are you going?
I saw something. Your shimmer.
Okay, where are we going?
Yeah.
He points at a direction. Okay, I guess. I look at Mustang and I go,
Car?
I mean, he's going by
Car?
foot, so it must not
Oh,
be
so
far.
it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said the river thing was like right nearby, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
bother.
It's down the street.
Drives 10 feet.
I'm good. But yeah,
So
no.
much gap.
He books it. You follow him, and as you get to this other alley, as you pass the dry dock and you come to this other alley, you see that one of the bikers is kind of there to the side. He looks like he could be confused for like a drunk. Like he's kind of like head lulled. He's kind of slurring his words. He looks like he's... All three of you have kind of had to deal with feeding. He looks like he's been fed heavily from.
Mm-hmm.
a little too close, a little too over that halfway mark.
Yeah. Like if he hadn't been found, he might have wound up dead in the morning.
Okay, and he wasn't like when we came running up. He's not just like suddenly slumped over like someone had a grip on him just a second ago, or
No, it looks like he's been there for...
Yeah.
He's been there for a moment.
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Obviously, which one of my guys is this?
This is Thomas.
Thomas. Okay.
Yeah, it was Thomas and Kenneth that went missing.
Okay. So.
I understand that he's part of your club, but I imagine there's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, when bigger fish are attacking people right outside the club, I'd like to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You just hear...
All right.
And from underneath one of the the trash bins, you see one of the cats, the little gray cat, come out. It starts to purr, and it saddles up next to Mustang.
Oh, resist, Mustang. Resist.
Oh no.
Mustang, we gotta get moving. Let's go. Forget this cat.
But it's a cat.
Mustang.
Fine.
Let's look at the cat.
Just keep going. So I'm gonna keep going. towards the docks then.
Oh no, you've passed the docks at this point. Like
Oh,
you've had to
okay.
pass. You have to go past the docks to get to him. And as you see the cats, and you're like telling Mustang to leave it, you hear from around you in this alley. You have found my kitten. How can I help you, since you have entered my territory?
Can we tell the direction it's coming from, or is it just all around us?
It's difficult. It's difficult to tell. If you want to try to make a wits and awareness roll.
That's 2 8s, a 9, a 1, 4, and the 3 on the hunger.
Okay. It sounds like you think you can kind of narrow down to where it is, but every time that you look in the direction where you think it is, it's moving.
Do I recognize the voice?
No.
Do I?
No.
This is a new one for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have us at a disadvantage, friend. You see us, but we don't see you. If you don't mind us meeting, we would
Feeding on
love.
a close personal compatriot of mine and without his permission. I don't care if it's your territory, you pulled him out of mine.
What he said.
A lion does not concern himself with the opinion of sheep. I feed on who I feed.
Oh no.
My ghouls have chosen who I must feed from. I value their input. And as he says that, you see all three of the cats have kind of like started to circle Mustang.
No.
I grip the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just hold it in a position where my hands can be towards the gilded pages on the corner of it.
Yeah.
So, in case I need to open it real quick.
Yep.
Well, how rude of me. We entered into your area and I didn't introduce myself. My name is Erickson, and my companion here, Mustang. And this is our new
I don't
friend.
offer my name to scum.
Yeah.
Mm.
New friend.
Mustang takes out her gun.
Okay.
I'm liking her more by the moment now.
I look over at Mustang. I go, fuck it. I grip it. I put my hand right into the Bible and I take out the Saturday Night Special that's able to fit in there.
Okay. At that point, you hear the voice. You have chosen violence. It is unfortunate. I do not deal with violent people. And you hear him yell out, "Come! We leave now!" And the three cats meow their disapproval, and then they kind of start to walk down the opposite side of the alley.
While the cats are moving, I happen to pick one up.
Make a dexterity and athletics check to try and grab it.
Da bien.
I shoot the cat.
You're gonna shoot a cat
No. He's gonna try and grab it.
Athletics and what? I'm sorry?
and dexterity.
Okay.
Look, I'm
Gotta
not
grab
doing
it really
anything.
hard with potent.
I'm just grabbing it. That's all. Just grabbing it. I got a 7, an 8, a 10 on the hunger, and 2.
Okay. You see that as you lunge forward to grab it, it kind of tries to evade you, but you do manage to scoop it up.
I don't think we're done with our conversation here, sir. Uh, we introduced ourselves. You know, I think that's poor, especially when we're introducing to somebody's area, somebody's territory, that they don't introduce themselves. I start stroking the cat.
It is doing everything that it can to try and get out of your grasp. And you just hear the voice from the end of the alley. I need you to put Leopold down, please, before you get me angry.
Oh, Leopold, that's such a cute name. And who's Leopold's father?
And stepping towards you as he drops his obfuscation is this monstrous creature that looks much more like a thing from a nightmare than the actual Nosferatu that he is. He has these long, thin limbs that make him look like a grotesque kind of jelly bean with these spaghetti-like, spindly arms and legs that end in these clawed hands. His face looks like it's almost a hairless cat-like feature, like the nose and the face is kind of protruded forward. The eyes are kind of slicked back a little bit. His ears are just these massively pointed kind of bat-like flesh things that come out of his faces, out of the side of his face, and he's just like, he has very thin, very kind of small mouth that just is all jagged teeth, and he's just, put down Leopold before I hurt you.
Oh, this, that wounds me, sir. That you would think that I would hurt such a cute animal. I just wanted to know who its owner is, and maybe we can have a discussion. And after the discussion, I think we'll just be on our way.
Maybe after our discussion, he can stop feeding on anybody that has that symbol on their back.
He looks at the symbol. It has been noted. I will tell the cats not to choose them anymore.
I look over at Andreas. Is that enough for you?
I'm not in the mood to start trouble this close to Samantha's place. Who are you?
They gave me a name some time ago. I am known as Theodore. There are some who call me Teddy.
Well, Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, out of player knowledge.
Do they exist yet? It's 19... Oh, no, they're a couple years away.
Yep.
Teddy, pleasure. And I go and I grab the cat by the scruff, the back, right? To gently put it down. But not before kissing it on the top of its head.
It meows.
This thing is amused.
Yeah, it meows angrily and then kind of runs over to where Teddy is. And you can see all three of the cats are kind of like sitting in a very triangular pattern, like underneath him, in what looks to be just like the order in which they were ghouled.
I understand hierarchy.
Yeah.
No, Teddy. It's now that we're on common. Now that we're on speaking terms. I actually grab the revolver and I put it back inside the book, and I hold it in place. I look over at Mustang.
I put my gun away.
Thank you. I'm not gonna ask Andreas because he's his own man. So I'm gonna let it. So, you know, this is your territory, and just want to ask. Besides the people that you have feasted upon, have you happened to see somebody else that we have an interest of? Gretel is her name.
Do you have picture? I don't really deal with names. Any kind of
I think I would have
motions.
one of the pictures from earlier, wouldn't I?
Probably.
Talking to Samantha? Alright. Produce it, give it to Erickson. You were the one talking to him.
Oh, yes, sorry, I was writing something.
Yeah.
Oh, and I finally get to see what Gretel looks like.
Yeah.
And I glance it over to Mustang. And then I pass it, and I casually walk over to Teddy. So get in just enough distance so that he can see the picture.
Yeah. Excuse me. He looks like if he stood at full kind of stance, like if he stood at his full height, he might be like 9 feet tall.
Whoa.
It's impressive.
But he just kind of like hunches over. He's got his knees bent. He looks like the quintessential kind of Nosferatu from like the old black and white movie. Like he's got that Count
Full-on
Orloff face.
Shrek.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Silent film era, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. And he kind of like, he brings his spindly fingers up and he kind of puts them, wraps them around each other as he closes his hands. And he looks down at the picture, not wanting to touch it. I have seen this face before. It was taken. There was an altercation with another man. They are dangerous. They're
What of the man? Where was this?
blood sorcerers, the two of them.
All right. I'll actually start talking to this guy, but I described to him the gentleman I ran into in the into the flower shop shortly before it went up.
He kind of tries to picture it. He's like, this is not the face I saw. No.
Let me describe Andrew Gibbons to him.
After a moment of him kind of like trying to imagine what he looked like, he's like, this is much closer to man I saw arguing with her.
Okay. Turn to Erickson. I'm like, okay, this still tracks with what we found out earlier. Gibbons was one of the last people who was seen with Greta. This was sure. I discovered this a short time ago at a certain flower shop.
Flower. Did we happen to hear about this flower shop at all going into West Salem? Nothing that would have.
You
Considering that it blew up.
yeah.
So
Considering that a lot of the kindred in the city knew that you could get blood petals there. Yeah, the loss of the flower shop has been a rumor that people have heard.
I look over at Mustang. I go. I think he's talking about the one that blew up.
Yeah.
No, the other flower shop that blew up is like right across the street. Yes, that one.
Okay. Where did you see this altercation, Teddy?
I saw it in north side of town. I have been slowly pushing my territory outwards.
Was the north side of town where the flower shop was?
No, the flower shop is mid eastern
mid-east,
side.
wasn't it?
Yeah, mid eastern side.
Okay.
Central eastern side. He's like,
This is all over town.
there is some altercation that took place there. It has been targeted for some time. I have decided not to branch north. But the river,
Targeted by who?
I do not know. I only know there has been altercations there.
East fair.
In the north side, so any specific location?
I believe they call it Kaiser. In the Kaiser territory, there has been a lot of action recently. It has made expansion difficult in that site.
And for a handsome novice like yourself, it's even in the sewers?
I don't partake of the sewers. It smells down
That's
there.
fair. That's good. That shows good taste.
It's not good for cat's fur, and he kind of looks down at them.
They're very beautiful.
They should be. They have been with me for some time. And you see that his long, spindly finger kind of like creeps down towards one of the cats and just starts to scratch the top of its head. And all three of them are just now kind of like vying for his attention.
Clearly, you have your whole evening ahead of you, so. Shall we?
I appreciate the hospitality, Teddy. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
He waves to the cats.
I waved to the one cat that I had in my hand.
The kitten is the only one that kind of raises its paw as you guys are leaving.
Stop.
Wait, I'm having an asinine moment. Wasn't there another biker missing?
Yes, there was.
Oh, we should ask about the second one.
Yeah.
Oops.
We found one alive. I was like, wait a second. Oh shit, head count. We have a bike with no rider. What happened to my other compatriot?
He leans forward, like, you would like to have him back?
In one piece and breathing, if possible.
He was going to be snack for tomorrow, but this is fine. And you see, he goes to the end of the alley and he opens up the dumpster, and he just pulls like a rat by the ankle. He just pulls the other biker, who's just freaking out at everything he's seen. He's just like, "What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck is that?" Like,
I forgot what this again.
this is Kenneth.
This is Kenneth.
He's
Kenny, relax. You're going to be okay, I think.
And he just puts him down. He's like, "Yeah, you can have him back then. I did not bite."
Dude, we were seconds away from leaving Kenny to die. Oh, wait a minute. Weren't there two of them?
Yeah,
That's just right. If you didn't say that, Kenny would have been dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
This is
Most likely, and this would have been impetus to go kill Theodore.
Teddy.
Teddy has learned from Ventru not to open his mouth about any information he has.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You almost got us, Teddy.
But yeah,
You almost got
Almost
us.
got Kenny.
yeah. And Kenny
We'll be fine. I just gotta
Kenny
find somebody else willing to ride his bike.
rushes past you guys.
Sure is making straight for the last call and everybody else.
Yeah. But Teddy kind of like waves at you. He's like, "Okay, now we are done. Yes, and goodbye."
Until we meet again, good sir.
Yes, until we meet again. And as he starts to walk away, you see him just kind of vanish into the air. And there's just that kind of ripple effect, that aura. And just the cats walking off, following nothing.
Okay, so we've had our dose of creepy for the evening.
Alright, well, the night is still young, and I think Mustang is itching the ride.
Yeah. Let's go.
Ride. Magic word.
I take it we're just gonna head. Wait, I wrote it down, the name of the place.
Yeah. The Kaiser District.
There you go, Kaiser District. I see that there's breadcrumbs afoot.
I start walking towards the car.
Okay.
Right behind her.
Heading from a bike.
Yep.
All right. So wait. So just to refresh, the gun that they gave us, I still left in the glove compartment, or that was the gun that Mustang had.
No, I think that's the gun that Mustang had.
That's my gun. The gun
Oh,
that they gave us is in the car.
Okay.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, so then I noticed that she had her own gun. I go, ah.
I
Ah.
showed you that I have 2 guns
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
and knives and stuff.
I knew the knives.
Yeah, I showed you. I showed you
Oh,
the stuff.
as we're walking to the car, I look at Mustang. I go, come on. You know I wasn't gonna kill a cat, right?
I really hope not. He was very majestic.
No.
Got a long eternity ahead of you if you're worried about the lives of cats.
So getting into the car. So, I don't know. We don't know our way around this. Well, we have a map, right? I imagine.
Do we don't?
West Salem, we don't. I think this is our first time coming in here because
Well, this is
unless
regular Salem. You're in Salem proper.
regular Salem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, Salem proper.
You're used to West Salem.
Okay, yeah. So, so we're heading to that Kaiser territory. Yeah, fun time. What time is it right now in the day?
It
I hope not.
is. It is not day. It is. It is just about to hit midnight. So you have like 4 hours, 5 hours of night.
Sounds good. Do we know any places close by by the Kaiser district that we can go to? We can duck into if we need to for the day, while the day comes in.
In Kaiser. Mm,
By Kaiser, like close enough where that we know, at least working in that area.
not really. most of your information is going to be centered around West Salem, so you're learning what Salem proper has to offer.
All right. Before we take off, I head over to talk to Shepard.
Okay.
Tell him to head back out to the encampment, get our truck, and move it towards the Kaiser district, just in case we have to. Just in case I have to dive in, escaping. 5:59. Sun's about to come up.
Yeah, he's like, all right, but there's not going to be any place to be inconspicuous up there. That's
You don't need to be inconspicuous. You just need to be nearby.
all right. You got it.
Yeah, near the Kaiser district, not in it. Just
Yeah. And he just downs the rest of his beer and he goes out to his bike and rides off.
Okay.
And he points at somebody. He's just like, Eddie, you covering me tonight. And he kind of downs it and walks out. And you see Eddie's just like, oh, cop, what the fuck?
your turn.
Who's got the? Does Mustang have the money, or do I?
I think it's still in the briefcase.
Still in the briefcase. Okay.
Right next to Marcellus Wallace's soul.
They speak English and what?
Oh man. It's time to bust some skulls.
Are you in the car?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean we're.
Yeah.
We gotta get it. Time to go.
All right. So is the bike following the car or are you kind of like riding together?
I'll follow the car.
Okay. So you guys drive north and a little bit further east, following the river, to get to the north side of Salem proper. And sure enough, you notice that there's a stark difference between the kind of central downtown and what is the beginning of the Riverfront District to where Kaiser starts. There is a amalgam of styles here. The Riverfront has these old kind of warehouses and large structured buildings that are like brownstone, that are old brick, that have been converted into like different businesses and whatnot, and then a couple of streets away from the river, you start to see this kind of slow rise of like 5-story, then 7-story, then 9-story, then kind of 14 or 15-story high rises of just condos.
And from Theodore's description of the altercation earlier, can we figure out roughly where it took place?
You could try to triangulate with some of the little bit that he gave you as to where he saw it. So you notice to kind of stick to the southern district of Kaiser, and not drive all the way around it. The southern part is still a mixture of like warehouses that are still warehouses, and then these kind of like 2- and single-story houses that still haven't kind of like given their ground up to the modernization of the city. But you do notice that there's a campus for the university up here. It's a geology campus, so it kind of focuses on geology, earth sciences, and mining. It's maybe like a couple of buildings, a little park in between them, and one of the things that stands out to you is that there's a bookstore. It doesn't have a fancy name. It just kind of says books for sale. And the lights are on.
So in between and the lights are on. Okay, that's an obvious clue.
Midnight in the middle of Oregon, and the lights are on.
I should go in there.
I mean, that is the oddest thing in this area, so this must be the right spot.
Well, after you with the Bible. You actually have a book to trade.
I like this.
That's true.
So, I look over at Mustang, nodding to make sure that she's behind me. And I walk right into the bookstore. Before we walk in, is it like a glass storefront so you can see inside?
There is a glass storefront. The door doesn't have the glass the glass kind of to let you see in, but there's 2 windows. One that lets you see 2 kind of long shelves of books, and the first thing you notice is that there's no paperbacks. This isn't like a bookstore that trades in any of the newer things from what you can see from the one window. And the other window you can see a small desk. There's an old kind of like 1950s, 1960s register. And there's a little carousel of old pamphlets, like turn of the century kind of pamphlet work. And you do see that now on this side of the store there is the kind of newer things, like some of the paperbacks, Beverly Cleary, for example, the beginning of Stephen King's career, Shakespeare's collections, things like that. But the proprietor is a thin, not lanky, but not wiry kind of man. He has reading glasses on as he's kind of like perusing through an older, large tome. You see that he has those white, kind of very velvety, soft, protective gloves on as he's kind of turning the pages. He has a vest that is buttoned up, a dress shirt, a kind of reddish dress shirt that has his sleeves rolled up. He has a tie that's it's a dark purple on the blue side of purple, so that it matches. It goes well with the red and the brown of the vest. Short hair, kind of well kept, clean cut, no facial hair to speak of. And you notice that after a moment of you kind of looking through the window, he, without prompting, kind of takes off his reading glasses and just looks towards you and just nods and just kind of waves.
I look at everybody else and say, why not? Front door it is. So I walk right through the front door.
Yeah. The little bell goes off. There's that traditional little bell as the door kind of opens from above you, and you just hear, "Oh, yes, yes. How can I help you? Come on in, please."
Oh, well, good evening. I'm surprised that this place is still open.
Oh, I'm a night owl.
Yeah,
No.
so am I. Where's everybody else positioned as I'm walking in?
I'm walking like around the edge, like looking at the books, but paying attention to what's happening.
Okay.
I'll position myself sort of off to your side, sort of mirroring whichever direction you're going in, just to cover, if not a route of escape, just a little balance in the room.
Okay.
And also to make sure no one's between me and the guy if I have to shoot him.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying, lines of sight.
Mm-hmm.
I walk up as I'm walking up, and I start looking over. I start glancing now that we're inside.
Yeah.
And I'm walking closer towards him. What do I notice him doing?
You see that he places a very, very meticulously he places this thin cloth kind of bookmark in the book, and then he very carefully, pages at a time, he starts to like flip them closed. As he flips this book closed, as he's still looking at you, but he has this almost mechanical, like he's done this dozens of times, way of closing this book that you see once is actually the lid kind of the front cover is closed. You can see there's no title on the cover. This must be such an old book that there's no real like cover work. Cover work never existed. But he kind of like just slides his hands over the top of it just to make sure that there's no creases or indentations or anything that he might have placed it on. And he's just very cordial, very soft British accent. Just, are you looking for something in particular? Is this a social visit? Are you here for a tarot reading? Do you desire any more of the esoteric knowledge that the store offers?
You're open most nights, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, most weeknights.
Did you hear? Have you heard anything from an altercation lately? Perhaps a young lady and a certain gentleman. I described them, of course. Showed him Greta's photo.
He looks at the photo. He's like, well, it's unfortunate. That is a lovely woman. You say there was an altercation?
Yeah, a confrontation of some sort. She's a friend of ours, and we've been looking for the last few nights. And your store just stood out to us as we're searching this area.
I have a small group of students that tend to come in towards the midnight hour to burn the midnight oil, as it were, and I've been known to sell coffee to them and whatnot. I think she was with one of these students. I remember her saying something to an Andrew or an Andy. I'm assuming it's Andrew. She said Andy. Made me feel like they were familiar with each other.
I give Andrew's description to him very quickly.
Who?
to the old man.
Yeah. No, he says, "Ooh, almost sounds like a younger version of me. That is not a person that I have seen here. No, it doesn't stand out. I think.
Younger version of him.
Yeah, it's like, and then who is this Andy she was speaking to? Can you describe him?
He gives you a description of a short man with even shorter, kind of like a buzz cut of black hair. He laughs. He's like, he reminded me of almost moss growing on a building, as there was no distinction between his face and his head. It was as if the hair just kind of crept onto his face, all uniform level, almost like a perpetual 7 o'clock shadow on a man's face. Short, I wouldn't say bulbous, but I think he knew how to eat, and he did it well. And you see him kind of put his hand to his mouth as he takes off his glove. He's just like, I'm sorry, I'm being cheeky. Not well dressed. Very simple dressing. Jeans, t-shirt.
Basically describing like every college student, just like
Yeah.
throw a rock and hit one coming down the street.
Yeah.
I want to ask, as he's talking, we're having this conversation with him. Do I notice that he's not blinking, that he's not breathing, or he's...
Oh. For that, make a wits and awareness roll.
All those are just him.
He's the only one that's kind of like looking.
Okay.
So everybody else, I think, is like Mustang, I would imagine, is looking through the books.
I'm making my way around the perimeter to see if there's a door or something.
Okay. There is an office door, and if you check it, it is locked. There's a bathroom, and there is a back door.
Is it unlocked?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I see here my hunger dice is a 6.
Okay.
Then I have a 10, a 6, an 8, and 2 1s.
Okay. As you're talking to him, you will see that he blinks rarely, and that his chest goes up and down almost at equivalent intervals. Like it's maybe like when he remembers.
Breathe.
Yeah, you know, for a man who's so focused and diligent at his work, as far as how you take care of these books, you're doing a really crappy job on pretending to look alive.
He smiles. He's like, amongst my kind, I rarely believe that I should take efforts.
I nod, knowing now that he knows, so I can drop the facade that,
Mhm.
So look, Gretel is someone of interest to us, and we have an inkling, a feeling that this is having to do with what's going on, in this territory. So, any information that you have about her whereabouts, besides just being with an everyman, would be beneficial and would be of great help to us.
Am I behind him? Like, behind him?
No, you'd have to actually get behind the counter to be behind him.
Because he's behind the counter.
Yeah, you're down the hall, at the opposite end of the store.
Okay.
He looks at you. He's just like, I wish I could be of some help. Is this tower business?
Let more of an independent search, but we're trying to keep the law and order around here. And disappearing people can lead to a problem with the masquerade.
Of course, of course. The rules are rules.
How often have you seen this woman come into the store?
She used to come in once every other week.
And when was the last time you saw her?
Maybe 2 weeks ago. She's overdue for a visit.
Yeah,
And
didn't
now,
have much disappeared either, so.
we're obviously here because this was the last time that anybody saw her in this area. So,
That's dreadful.
who other of our kind frequents here?
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't think I need to protect anyone's anonymity. There is a primogen that comes sometimes, and she will sit and drink coffee with me, but just know that it's never a scheduled thing. Like, it is a rare occurrence. I am excited every time that she does appear, though, 'cause she does have extensive knowledge. But her name is Julia Trudeau. She's the Tremere primogen.
Tremere.
He keeps sliding back to the Tremere every time.
I don't find anything.
As far as
Like anything that looks out of the ordinary from a bookshop.
there's a couple of kind of odds and ends and trinkets that line some of the bookshelves as kind of like breaks in between books. One of them is a jar of what looks to be formaldehyde with a monkey's paw in it. Excuse me. It looks to be giving the peace sign.
Simon, there's only 2 wishes left.
If you believe that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can hear this conversation happening, or no?
Yeah, it's not a big shop.
Okay.
It's maybe from one end to one end, it's maybe like 60 feet, and it's about 40 to 50 feet wide.
Do we know this guy's name yet?
No.
No.
Oh, forgive my manners. I like to introduce myself everywhere I go. And my name is Erickson Wood.
I know who you are, Senator. Or, sorry, just say former.
Oh, I'm glad I have still some notoriety in this town.
I followed your career with some interest.
And I appreciate it.
Senator. That's kind of highfalutin.
It's not what you think. Sir, may I have your name?
Of course. My name is Michael Willingham. I'm the proprietor of this establishment.
Can I ask you, do you know a new friend of mine that I made tonight? His name is Theodore, also goes by the name of Teddy.
Single name, like Madonna.
He's usually around with 3 cats.
Oh, that That helps severely. I don't think I've ever seen anyone with 3 cats walking around.
You ever seen 3 cats walking around by themselves?
Any particular coloration to the cats?
That's enough.
Yeah, some cats that live on the campus that I feed, but not a trio of them that stick together.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and just peruse around here a little bit more, in case something sparks my interest. I'll
Sure.
make sure to ask you.
Let
I
me go and put this back in my office as it is recently acquired, and it looks old. So I'd like to get it as little as human influence involved in it as possible. And you kind of
All the stuff I'm seeing in here, is there anything is there anything reminiscent of what I saw at the flower shop? Anything that looks like it's connected to the paper, any of the paperwork I found, or anything?
make a wits and awareness roll.
Ooh.
But you do see him kind of like struggling to kind of pick up this heavy tome. It looks like he's a weaker person strength-wise, and he starts to just kind of slowly walk towards the office in the back. You know, and he nods at Mustang as he walks by her.
All right, so my wits awareness, let's see, 2 6s, 5, 8, and my hunger die was a 7.
All right, it's 4 successes. You notice that as Kenny kind of like starts to turn away from the counter, as Mustang is kind of like looking intently at this older gentleman. You look at the business licenses that are framed behind where he was standing, and it is the same umbrella corporation that was in charge of the florist shop.
Oh, lovely.
I'm walking to where Mustang was at, and I wanted to see where the back leads as far as the back door.
Okay. Yeah, you see that he types in a key code to get into his office. There's a little kind of buzzing noise. And as he walks in, you see that there is
Bum rush.
there is somebody else inside the office. And then there's just a heavy thud as he closes the door behind him. Make a
About to say, did anybody catch that?
Make a wits and awareness, Kenny and Mustang, if you looked into the office.
I did. How do I do this again?
Sorry. That's great. Mustang, your wits is 4, and then your awareness is 2, so you're gonna roll 6 dice, and then 5 regular and 1 hunger.
All right. I have 3 2s. Yeah, 3 2s, but here you go, a 6 and 2 10s. One of them is the hunger dice.
Ooh. So that's a messy critical. That's actually 5 successes.
Second there, I thought he didn't see anything besides the back of his own eyelids.
I would be like, these books are pretty.
I saw an original Canterbury's Tale. That's nice.
It's 11.
What did Mustang get?
6 1 4 4 8 5.
All right, so 2 successes. So you see what looks to be a young man behind the desk, but you didn't get a good look at him. He was kind of like wearing the same outfit, almost identical outfit. And Kenny, with your successes, there's a bunch of just images that come washing through as the beast kind of awakens, and you start to remember all the time in the the kind of Shark Tank that was the floors, the kind of, representative buildings, things like that. Like, you remember that every little tidbit was bait for the next hook in the water. And there's a moment where you notice that the heavy thud isn't attached to the door. It's because the older gentleman himself kind of vanishes, almost like a doppelganger being dismissed, and the thud is the book falling, and then the door kind of slams shut. But you notice that the younger gentleman behind the desk takes off his glasses as the door is closing, and he matches the description verbatim of Andrew Givens. And this is where we're going to pick up the next session. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us for tonight's game. As always, please wear your masks, keep your distance, wash your hands, and take care of each other. And as always, be aware that mental health is part of our own general health. So if you feel like you ever need to reach out to somebody, please do. Call a friend, call a family member. And if you are a friend or family member of somebody that is usually a strong personality, please reach out to them. There's no harm in a little hello, and it might change somebody's trajectory. And just know that there's no shame in getting professional help. So if you think that your friends or family cannot help you in any way, shape, or form, please know that you can always get professional help. There's no taboo about it. There's no stigma about it. It is part of your health, and your well-being and taking care of yourself is priority. So please. And remember, I will see you on Wednesday for our Legend of the Five Rings game, or I will see you on Friday for our Star Wars game, or I will see you on Monday for our Camarilla game. But until then, take care of each other and take care of yourselves, and I will see you when I see you.